What's up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope y'all are having a wonderful, beautiful, blessed Wednesday afternoon. It is 2:22, y'all. We only a few minutes late. We only a few minutes late, but we are here. We are here, and today is day 18. Yep, today is day 18. All right, y'all. So, if you are new here, my name is Coach Jamila. Oh, my bad. If you are new here, my name is Coach Jamila. I am a women's manifestation and mindset coach. I teach women in business how to unclutter their minds so that they can create the life that they desire to live by removing the insecurities, the self-doubt, the self-sabotage, all of the things that keep us stuck in a space that we no longer desire to be, and allow them to cultivate a space of self-worth, self-value, and everything that is going to help them to cultivate and create the life that they desire to live, right? From a place of confidence, from a place of clarity, from a place of abundance. Okay. And so we have been in a series where we are reading The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. This is a book written by a lady named Catherine Ponder. Basically, I believe the book was written and published in the 1960s. It is about her journey as she went around the world, teaching people how to literally change and transform their lives using the power of their words, visualization, and all of the simple spiritual things that we can do to shift, change, and transform our lives. Okay. And so we are on day 18. If you have missed any part of this series, you can catch up on my YT channel. We have days 1 through 12 now published on the YT channel, which is linked in my profile. And we have been talking about what we would call today visualization. Okay. Um, I'll go ahead and make this disclaimer now because I always forget. I just told y'all this book was written in the 1960s. So some of the language is a bit old, right? But the principles, the theories, all of that are still very good and can be used in today's modern society. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna just quickly recap what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday we talked about creating a vision board. They called it a wheel of fortune. We talked about creating a vision board. They're a visual image of your desires and help you to subconsciously picture what it is you desire in order to bring those desires forth, right? We talked about being specific and detailed with your vision boards. Don't just have pretty pictures, allow them to have meaning. Add some words, maybe some affirmations. Remember, we talked about the what was he, a engineer that put his religion or his higher power at the center, right? And allowed the higher power to be the center of his wheel of fortune, knowing and understanding that there was a greater power that came from this higher power, right, that allowed him to manifest everything that he was looking to desire, right? And so we talked about acknowledging that higher power. Everything is not your responsibility, right? Some things are God's responsibility. Some things we don't even have to worry about. Understand and hold the idea that there is nothing impossible for the creator of all things, right? If we were created by the creator of all things, there can be nothing that is impossible for us if we allow him to be at the center of it. Know that you are worthy of the things you desire to have and allow God to cultivate the atmosphere for you to receive them, right? We have to understand that we are worthy of the things we are asking for. A lot of us don't ask for things that we desire because we don't believe that we are worthy of those desires. We feel like we're not deserving of them. We feel like we have to do something or be something to be worthy of these things, when in reality we were born worthy of having the things that we desire. God said he created us to have a life more abundantly, right? And then we talked about how vision boards can be used for long-term or short-term goals, right? To manifest those things. Don't underestimate what God can do and how quickly he can do it, right? You may think it'll take long, but God can make your life change in the blink of an eye. So those were our notes from yesterday. And the question of the day was, is your vision board clear, right? We're at the top of the year. I won't say the beginning because we are clearly in February, but we are still at the top of the year. And the question is your vision board clear? When you look at that vision board, do you know exactly what it is you're trying to manifest? Does it inspire you? Does it encourage you? Does it push you towards what it is that you are trying to manifest on the days? We're going to get into that today, but on the days when you don't feel like it, on the days when you're having a rough time, does it remind you of what you are working towards? Does it give you some inspiration, some encouragement? Does it encourage you to keep going, keep moving, right? Does it motivate you to go do whatever you need to do for that day to go to move the needle towards that thing that you're trying to manifest, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into day 18. We are still in chapter 5. Let me see, where am I at? Okay, we are still in chapter 5, which is the imaging law of prosperity. Okay, that's chapter 5. And we have 4 sections. We've been doing 3 sections, but these next 8 sections are kind of small. So we're going to do 4 today and 4 tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll wrap up chapter 5 and we'll get into chapter 6. Before we jump into it, y'all, I'm about to go back to this affirmation. And if you've seen my story, I think this affirmation is from chapter 2. So it's from a couple weeks ago. But this is a powerful affirmation that we said we were going to start our each day with. And so I want to offer this affirmation to y'all before we jump into our lesson for the day. Okay. It says, I am an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto myself everything that I divinely desire according to the thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures I constantly entertain and radiate. I am the center of my universe. I have the power to create whatever I wish. I attract whatever I radiate. I attract whatever I mentally choose and accept. I begin choosing and mentally accepting the highest and best in life. I now choose and accept health, success, and happiness. I now choose lavish abundance for myself and for all mankind. This is a rich, friendly universe, and I dare to accept its riches, its hospitality, and to enjoy them now, right? If this is a rich and friendly universe, why not dare to accept its richness, its hospitality, and to enjoy them now, right? Okay, so I just wanted to offer y'all that for those of you that did miss that. I will post that again in my story because I think that's definitely a powerful affirmation for us to begin speaking daily, right? As we're doing our daily affirmations. So our first section for today says, make a notebook of your desires. And again, this is we're still talking about the wheel of fortune, okay? It says, if you are not free to make a large wheel of fortune to help you change your mental images, perhaps you would like to do it as perhaps you would like to do as did a school teacher I know who made a notebook similar to the kind she constantly carries around in her work. Only this notebook contained pictures she had cut from magazines of the goods she desired, along with catchy phrases that she had clipped and pasted about them. When she had a lull in her day, she would browse through her notebook of desires, which kept her imaging power uplifted, expectant and at work for her highest good. No one around her was aware of what she was doing. And in this simple way, she was able to avoid becoming depressed, discouraged, or doubtful. Okay. And I want to stop here and give you my first point. Sometimes we have to encourage ourselves, right? Use your mental images to encourage you, inspire you, uplift you in your day. I touched on that just a bit ago. Every day won't be a great day, right? Sometimes life just be life, and sometimes things happen that we're not expecting, things happen that we're not ready for, and life can try to get us down sometimes. But and when we can use our mental images to help us look forward, right, towards the future in a positive way instead of allowing the troubles of the day to get you down, that is a powerful thing that we can do to immediately shift our mood back from where it was trying to go to where we are again focused on manifesting the life that we desire. Again, focusing on something positive. Again, looking forward to something. It says she kept a notebook with and images and what's the word I'm looking for? Blah, 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 catchy phrases that she had clipped and pasted about. So that just sounds like she put her vision board in a notebook, right? Or some part of it. So just make sure that you have the ability to encourage yourself when you're not having a good day. And if it's not a notebook, you can put it in your phone. We always have our phones. If you have a some type of picture, even your screensaver, like my coach, she used to use her screensaver as her vision board, or she would put her vision board on her screensaver because you're always looking at your phone, right? At some point along the day. Okay. So let's keep going. It says image and detail. And again, when we use the word image, we're talking about visualizing, right? A housewife who has used the imaging power of the mind with amazing results has often told me that she has to work for a long time to get her mind to image in detail as a desired result. But she declares that once she can picture the complete detailed result, she can then dismiss the matter from her mind completely, knowing that it will soon manifest itself. She states that she has found it is worth the time and effort to daily picture as much of her desires as possible. Gradually, her imagination is able to image the whole picture in detail. And it says, as it does so, she states that often she personally needs to take little or no physical action to produce the result. More often, it is accomplished for her since her greatest work in the matter has already been done. It says, I am discovering that the imaging law of prosperity is one of the most fascinating. The more you develop it, the more it seems that the whole world rushes towards you in a friendly fashion, only too happy to grant your desires. Remember, we're saying that what we're imaging, what we are visualizing is the thing that we are telling God, telling the universe, this right here is what I desire. This is what I want, right? So what she's saying here is that the lady got so she has to spend so much time visualizing it because she knows that that's the hardest part, right? Remember we talked about not making to-do lists, right? Because to-do implies that we have to do it all. And sometimes we just have to make to accomplish lists because whoever needs to accomplish it can accomplish it on our behalf, right? If the dishes need to be done, the laundry needs to be done, there's a laundry list of things that need to be done, right? You don't have to always make yourself do them, right? It is things that need to be accomplished. So when we send those things out into the universe and say these things need to be accomplished, the universe will then respond back to us, right? In ways that sometimes we don't even have to do those things. Sometimes people will, we know we need lunch. Sometimes people will send us lunch, right? Somebody can just DoorDash you lunch right now. Sometimes you need to run to the bank and or do something, right? And who knows, somebody can drop something in your cash app, right? Whatever it is, if you can understand that those things need to be accomplished and not necessarily all by you, we have to remove ourselves from the reality or believing that we have to do everything. We are taught that we have to do, right? And we should always be busy, and life is hard, and we gotta, everything is going to be hard for us. And so that's the mentality we show up with. But when we understand and we can get into the ease and flow of life, y'all, this your word for this season should be ease and flow. I have my affirmations are right here on this board. And it said, I am in my season of ease and flow. I'm not walking into it in the future. I'm not going to get there. I am in, right? Because we're remembering that our affirmations need to be spoken in the present tense, in the now, because our mind only operates in the now, right? It has no sense of future, past, none of that. It only operates in the now. So when you understand that you are in your season, or you can be in your season of ease and flow, when you think about life in terms of life can be easy, life can be flowy. I just have to allow things to happen. I just have to step into the ease and flow. I just have to step into my power. I just have to walk into my purpose. I just have to be in my existence, right? And I don't have to do anything, right? I don't have to be anything. I just have to operate. I just have to show up and allow life to flow to me and allow things to flow to me and be open, right, to receiving. A lot of us are closed off from receiving, and our manifestations don't happen in the way we want them to happen because we're closed off from receiving. Sometimes we can't even receive $15 for a meal from a friend, right? If a friend wants to wants to take us out to lunch, sometimes we fighting over the bill. No, if they are willing to pay for it, go ahead and let them pay for it. Why? Because that opens you up to receiving, right? We have to be open to receiving because God wants to give us things. God wants to send us resources. God wants to send us the money we need. God wants to send us the people we need in our life, but we have to be open to receiving those things. And when we are open to receiving, we are then able to be in the flow of life because we allow things to flow freely to us. That's why those manifestation gurus say things like, money flows to me easily, freely, and frequently. And sometimes when we start saying those things, it sounds so far fetched, like it sounds so cheesy. It doesn't even sound good for us to say. Like, our nervous system doesn't accept it. Why? Because that's contradictory to what we've been taught. We've been taught that money does not flow freely, that we got to give up time or we got to work really hard for money, when the reality is money is just an energy. And I know y'all hear that, and when I started hearing that, I was like, whatever, you talking so much shit. But money is literally just an energy. Think about it. When you put it like this, back in the day, let's go way, way, way back in the day, they didn't have a paper money system, right? At some point, somebody made that up. I know my coach was teaching something, and she was the lesson was about money. Money is made up. I forgot what the name of it was, but it was basically like money is a made up thing. It is. Somebody decided we needed a physical form of exchange, right? Because before we had this physical form of exchange, we had a barter system, right? It's like you do something for me, I'll do something for you, right? And now it's simply an exchange of energy. I am giving you this product, I am giving you this service, and you are exchanging this paper dollar or this, swipe, this credit card, this ping, this whatever it is. You are exchanging some kind of currency with me. And so when we can understand that I have something to give the universe that is valuable, I have something to give this world that is valuable. And because what I'm giving out is valuable, that which is valuable to me will be returned to me in the form of money, in the form of resources, in the form of whatever that is, right? But when you allow yourself to get into the flow, what is supposed to flow out of you will flow out of you in order for it to be returned to you. And if that didn't make sense, let me say that differently. Your gifts, right? We have been gifted something to give to the world, right? And so when our gifts flow out of us, abundance flows back into us, right? So there's something that we have been gifted with to give to the world that is valuable enough for someone who needs it to pour back into us in whatever way that is. And for most of us, it's going to be some type of monetary value. Okay. So where was I at? Your visualization is a powerful tool. Use it to your advantage. If you can see the version of you that has everything you want, if you know what kind of car she drives, if you know what kind of neighborhood she lives in, if you know what kind of house she wants to live in, if you know what she does on a day-to-day basis, does she get up? Does she exercise? Does she meditate? What does she do? If you can visualize, if you can see that person of you, how does she dress, right? There's a very powerful visualization meditation that is in one of my coaches programs that I always listen to, excuse me. And she's like, I want you to visualize your best day, right? I want you to visualize getting in your car, driving to your house. She's like, I want you to see the door. I want you to stick the key in the door. It's like we need to be able to visualize what we desire with clarity, right? Right? So that as we give that desire back to the universe, as we say, God, this is what I desire, because that mental picture is us giving that desire back to God in the universe, saying, this is what I desire to manifest, right? So that when we give it back, it's so clear that that it manifests in the exact clarity. Now, maybe the car you're gonna drive is silver instead of white, right? But still, what type of vehicle you want. You know how much it costs, y'all. I've been manifesting this truck for like 2 years now, right? And in manifesting that truck, I've gotten a couple other cars, but not quite that one. But I know today I can tell you how much that car cost. I drove that car for my birthday. Like I felt like that was my most powerful manifestation day. And so I went to the lot and I was like, I want to test drive this. And I drove the most top tier model. It wasn't even the one I wanted. It was right under the one I wanted, right? But the one I wanted was on the showroom floor, and they was like, "We're gonna have to move all these cars and get this one outside for you." And I was like, "No, y'all ain't even got to do all that because this is all I need right here." But anyway, we have to know and understand what we want with so much clarity so that when it is time for us to move into that direction, we know where we are going, right? When it is time for God to allow that thing to manifest in our reality, He knows exactly what it is that we want to manifest. He knows that we're ready, right? Because in getting from where we are to where we desire to be, there's a process that we're going to have to go through to get us ready to go there, right? To get us ready to show up there, right? Because if the version of you that has everything that you desire is that multi-million-dollar businesswoman, right, who runs this million-dollar business, you have to first learn how to, I don't know, manage one person, right? So maybe God has to take you through a season of where you are dealing with managing people, maybe not even in the sense of having the title of a manager, right? But in some aspect of managing people, maybe you have to learn how to deal with difficult people. Maybe you have to learn how to deal with making difficult decisions. Maybe you have to learn how to manage a larger amount of money, right? And here's a trick I want to offer y'all, because visualization, we have to visualize all aspects of the thing we want, okay? And so this trick that I told y'all I worked with Missy Yanla Van Zant. I love this woman wholeheartedly, y'all. She has helped to change my life in the most amazing ways. But anyway, she had us to do this thing, right? Because um, a lot of the reason why we don't manifest things that we want is because they don't feel safe for us. That's the part of manifestation that not a lot of people just openly talk about, right? That's the deeper part of manifestation, is understanding that it lives within our bodies, right? That our nervous system plays a part in what we are able to manifest. And sometimes when the largest amount of money you have ever seen is $60,000 a year, your mind or your nervous system cannot handle thinking about managing $1 million, because it's like you might say you want $1 million, but if you really had $1 million, what would you do with it? How would you manage it? And that's why a lot of those people that hit jackpots, they lose it really quickly because subconsciously they don't know how to deal with it. And so it does not feel safe for them. So they subconsciously figure out ways to get rid of that money because that money is not safe. Okay. And so this this kind of tool that she told us to, not tool, this technique she had us use was, we were supposed to add $10,000 to our bank account every day. So today we're starting with 10,000. Tomorrow we'll have 20,000. The next day we'll have 30,000, and every day after we're adding $10,000 to this bank account, right? And we are spending it all. So today I'm adding 10,000 and I am spending that 10,000. Tomorrow I'm adding another 10,000 and I am spending that 20,000. The next day I am adding another 10 and I'm now spending 30,000. And so it gets your mind, because remember I just told y'all, well, I didn't just tell y'all. I told y'all in the other video the other day that our mind, we form our own reality in our mind. So whatever we tell our mind that is going on, that is what's going on in the moment. If I am writing out that I have $10,000, right, and I am budgeting out that $10,000 and I am spending every penny of it, my mind believes that I just spent $10,000, right? And so the next day, and so I am subconsciously allowing my mind to get comfortable with the thought of spending thousands of dollars, right? And spending it in a way where I want to spend it. It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to give this money to Duke. I have to give this money to the rent. I have to give this money to gas. It's not a it's not a have to do thing. It's not a bad feeling thing, right? It's a good feeling. It's, oh, I get to spend $2,000 on a car. No, I get to spend $2,000 on my vacation fund. I get to add $2,000 to my savings. I get to give $1,000 to my charity, right? So it's understanding and allowing it to feel safe in our nervous system to spend those types of money. So anyway, y'all, I digress, but I really think that is a great tool and technique for you to use and implement, especially if you are manifesting money, right? You have to train your nervous system, train your subconscious to understand that it is safe for you to spend those high dollars. Okay, but how did we get there? We were talking about the power of visualization, right? The power of understanding where you're trying to go and the process, right? The process that it's going to take to get there. So we have to understand that there is a process, but we have to first know where it is the end result is, right? We have to know where we are right now and where we're trying to get to. And when we understand that, when that is very clear, then we don't get too discouraged in the process, right? We don't get too discouraged when things don't go the way that we think it should go. We don't get discouraged when we think, things don't happen in the way that we want it to happen or in the time frame we want it to happen or whatever that is, because we still are focused forward and knowing and believing and understanding that we are going to manifest that thing because we can see it, right? We can feel it. We know how it feels to sit in that car that we want. We know how it feels to walk in that door of that beautiful home we want to build from the ground up or whatever the case may be, right? So when we understand with clarity the thing that we desire to have and we hold the space for it and we can picture it and we form that picture in our minds and we cultivate and we sit and we embrace it every single day, right? We understand and we sit in that space and an atmosphere where we're allowing God to use the entire universe to bring those things forth to us. Okay. All right. If you can see it, you can create it. Visualize with clarity and in great detail and specifics, right? Know what it is you desire to have so that you allow God to use the entire universe to create that thing. Okay. So that was my second point. All right, let's keep going. We got two more sections we're going to go through today, and then we have four tomorrow. Okay. All right. You constantly image. And I touched on this yesterday, and we're going to read this little spot and I'm going to come back to it. But you constantly image. A very self righteous type of woman once indignantly said to me after a lecture I had given on the imagination, she said, I don't believe in making mental images. That's nothing but mental force. She said, I tried to explain that she was constantly making mental images, whether she wanted to or not, because the mind thinks through mental pictures. It is the natural action of the mind. But this indignant woman just rushed out. Later, I began to receive reports of what a hard time she was having financially. Finally, she spoke to a church counselor about her financial difficulties, and the counselor said, you will continue to have financial problems until you change your mental images. You are thinking about, talking about, and picturing financial lack, and your mind is producing what you are imaging. Change your images and think, talk, and picture plenty, and you shall have it. This time the woman was desperate, and so she began to image prosperous results. Soon she began to experience them. In due time, her attitude had changed completely, and she became a beautiful, harmonious, prosperous individual whom everyone loved. Whereas she previously had been avoided on every hand because of her constant recitation of financial woe. I agree with that lady that we can use the imaging law of prosperity as mental force if we try to force good to us that belongs to someone else. Listen, y'all, if we mentally image what belongs to someone else as ours, we are asking for trouble. We never need to imagine someone else's good as being taken from them and coming to us. What belongs to another is not ours by divine right. If it were, it would have been given us in the first place. And since it is not ours by divine right, it would do us no good if we got it. Okay, so this is what I was talking to y'all about yesterday. And I've talked about it a couple times, right? And when I've talked about it, it's been we manifest, right? Whether we intend to or not, we are always constantly manifesting. And what she is saying here, whether you intend to or not, you are always visualizing something, right? Whether you're visualizing something good to happen or something bad to happen. So we must set our intention to visualize the good. We must set our intention to visualize what we desire. We must set our intention to visualize the things we want to happen instead of the things that we don't want to happen. And see, a lot of times we focus on the negative, right? I don't want to have this conversation because it's gonna go left and this is gonna happen and they gonna say this and they gonna do that and then this person gonna get involved. And we go down the rabbit hole of thinking the worst case scenario. We have to begin shifting our thought process, shifting our minds, shifting our focus to focus on the best case scenario, right? Instead of the worst case scenario. Because when we focus on the worst case scenario, a lot of times what happens, right? We find ourselves saying, I knew that was going to happen like that. Well, that's because you gave the energy of that negativity to it, right? You focused on the bad that could have come out of that conversation. You focused on someone not doing something that you wanted them to do. You focused on someone not showing up in the way that you wanted them to show up. You focused on the negative, right? So we've got to shift our minds. We've got to shift our focus from focusing on what can go wrong, from focusing on thinking of a negative mental image of something that's going to happen, to focusing on exactly what we desire to manifest. And sometimes that is easier said than done, right? Because sometimes we play off of our memory. We know this has happened before. I've had this conversation with them before. I've done this before. We've done this dance before, right? We focus on the memory of what we knew in the past, but we can't allow our memory of our past to mess up what we want to see in our future, right? We've got to start fresh with fresh eyes, with a fresh mental image, with a fresh hope, with a fresh vision for how something can happen in a positive way, even when we know that in the past it may not have gone that way. Okay. So whether we want to or not, we are constantly visualizing, we are constantly manifesting something. So why not manifest? Why not visualize with intention to create exactly what we want instead of exactly what we do not want? Okay. So if we go back to the lady, they said she was constantly, and we talked about this the other day, she was constantly talking about her financial turmoil. Oh, I'll never have no money. I'm always broke. Everybody always wants something from me. Oh, now it's time to pay taxes. The government got their hand in my pocket. The more money I make, the more I'm going to have to pay in taxes. The more money I make, the more people going to come knocking on my door asking for something. We've got to stop attaching negative to our finances, right? We've got to stop saying things like, I'm broke, I don't have no money. What did I tell y'all? We have got to be open, right? So sometimes, even if you only got 25 cents in your bank account, say, I am open to receiving a blessing, right? My bank account is open for a deposit, right? I am waiting on a deposit, right? We talked about those different ways you can say something without saying you are broke, because there's nothing broke about you. There's nothing broke about your bank account. The only thing broke is your mind and the way that you are speaking about the things that are going on in your life, right? So we got to change our words with the intention of manifesting the good that we desire. I told y'all the other day, I was having a conversation with somebody one day, and I was like, "Listen, I'm waiting on the deposit, right? I'm waiting on the deposit." I literally spoke those words, and no sooner, it was a few hours later, somebody just sent me a cash app out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't, I had no knowledge that they were even thinking about cash apping me, and they did, right? So sometimes we just got to speak things into existence, whether or not we have any kind of understanding or any kind of knowledge that they are actually going to happen, right? We just got to stand on faith that, listen, my bank account is open for a blessing, and God will fulfill all of my needs according to his riches and his glory, right? We talked about that. We gotta become spoiled children, right? My daddy gonna take care of me, right? If I don't have it, I don't need it. And when I do need it, I will have it, right? I told y'all I became a spoiled daddy's girl, and that's how I began to change my literally change my life and change how I was speaking about certain things, because I had to say, listen, God, you're responsible for me. I'm responsible for these kids. You are responsible for me, okay? And as long as I show up in the way and be obedient to the thing that God is telling me to do, I know that He will take care of me. So we gotta shift our minds. We gotta shift our thoughts. We gotta shift our understanding to really stand on our faith and really be grounded in the understanding that we are deserving, we are worthy, because the Creator who created us said that we were. Our Creator said that we can live a life of abundance. Our Creator said that we can have the desires of our hearts. Our Creator said that if we ask, it shall be given, that if we knock, the door shall be open, right? Our Creator said all of those things. And they are not just nice little things that we say when we're trying to feel better. No, if we really believe them, we have to really believe them. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead. We're gonna get into this last little section and we're gonna wrap this up. We doing good on time, y'all. We doing good on time. Okay, it says how to image unselfishly. Okay, you need not covet another person's blessings, because his blessings would not satisfy you even if you had them. What belongs to another quite fits what belongs to another never quite fits your needs. Instead, when you see something another has that you would like to have, do not covet it or mentally try to image and force it to you. Okay? We never want to try to take something from someone else, right? It says you should realize that his good that appeals to you is simply an indication that similar good is on the way to you and that you can have it. In the church folks, they used to say, "What God is in my road, God is in my neighborhood, the blessings is in my neighborhood," something like that, right? Just understand that if this person is connected to you, if these things are around you, then there's similar good that is on its way to you, right? That is designed specifically for you. Okay, it said it's simply an indication that similar good is on the way to you and that you can have it. To help bring it to pass, declare to yourself. And here's the affirmation, y'all. Y'all know every live stream, there's something I want y'all to write down. My bad, I didn't call it out. But here's something you need to write down, take a note of it. I will go ahead and put this in my story as well when we get off of here. So in case you don't get to write it down, you can go back to my story. I'm gonna say it's gonna be posted within an hour, so probably I'm gonna say by 5 o'clock, y'all. It should be up there because sometimes it take a little while to download, process, whatever it got to do once we get off of here. Okay. It says, I too am in contact with the source of that good. The divine equivalent of that good is now on its way to me, and I gratefully accept it. My own similar God appointed blessings now appear. They are satisfying and appropriate, and for this I give thanks. It says, truly, there is no danger in using the imaging power of the mind unselfishly. It is only when you use it selfishly to try to force from another that which you desire that you run into difficulties. In like manner, you should never mentally image for another that which you would not want to experience yourself, since the mental image you send out inevitably comes back to you. It says, instead, you should image health, wealth, and happiness for others as well as for yourself. Y'all, sometimes, even our worst enemies, we just got to bless them. You know what I mean? You just got to say, bless you. because I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your issue is. I don't know who's spitting your Cheerios for you to be acting the way you be acting, right? So we don't know what somebody else is going through. So sometimes you just gotta say bless you. You know, they say kill them with kindness, kill them with blessings. Okay, bless you. May whatever that's for you come to you, and leave it at that, right? We don't want to send out any negative energies to the universe because that thing is going to come right back to us, right? They say when you point a finger, there's like three pointing back at you. So never send something out to someone else that you don't want to come back to you. All right. So my last little point of the day is understand that anything you are mentally picturing, both good and bad, you are asking the universe to create for you. Make sure you're visualizing with intention to create those things you desire instead of those things that you do not desire for. Okay, y'all. So listen, that is day 18. I did not write down a question of the day. What can our question of I did not write down a question of the day. What can our question of All right, my bad, y'all. I forgot to put my do not disturb on, and somebody decided to call me. But I don't have a question of the day. So we're gonna say the question of the day is what are you um, what's the word I'm looking for? What are you visualizing? Are you visualizing good? Are you visualizing bad? What are you constantly visualizing? Right? It says, what are you constantly imaging? So what I just talked about, we are constantly manifesting whether we want to or not. Are we manifesting? Are we visualizing with intention? Right? Are you really thinking, focusing on speaking, creating with your words, with your thoughts, with your mind, those things that you desire? Or are you creating those things that you don't desire, right? And think about it like this: what is continually showing up in your life? What is continually showing up in your life? Because if you are continually getting hit with financial burden after financial burden after financial burden after financial burden, are you spending all of your time, not all, but are you spending way too much time talking to friends, family, co-workers, yourself, God, about all of your financial issues? Because if you are spending intentionally, because whether you intend to or you don't intend to, if you're doing it, it's intentional, okay? Are you intentionally spending time focusing on the thing you do not want? Or are you speaking to that thing, right? Are you speaking to your finances, affirming, I always have more than enough? I always have more than enough to spare and to share. I always have more than enough to pay all of my bills on time and in full, right? When we start speaking different, when we start declaring different over our lives, that's when we start to see different because we are sending these prophecies out. We are sending we are sending these images out. We are sending this request, right? There's this girl on TikTok that I follow, and she talks about um, making manifestations instant, right? Having instant manifestations. And she's always like, you have to, damn, where was I going with this, y'all? You have to you have to speak, you have to focus on what you want, right? And you have to focus on it like you already have it, right? You have to focus on it like you already have it, like you're placing an order with the universe, right? That's where I was going with it. Like you're placing an order at McDonald's, and it's not like, oh, I hope I can have a number three if you have that available, right, y'all? Because y'all know we fall back on, oh, if it's God's will. Sometimes it is God's will. We just don't believe that it's God's will for us because we aren't confident in our worth and our value, right? And we don't understand that God wants to bless us at that higher capacity, right? So we don't show up at McDonald's and say, oh, do you think it's possible that I can have a number four and if you have it in your budget, can I make that a large fry? Like, no, that's not what we're doing. You're showing up and you was like, I want a number 4 with a large Sprite, and I want a large fry. I want some ketchup, put some napkins in the bag. Like, you are confident in what you want to order. So we have to begin to show up differently in what we are sending out into the universe and what we are sending out to God, saying, this is what I want, right? We have to show up declaring and speaking differently, even if, we don't have the money in our bank account that we want to have today. We have to declare, right, that everything I need, I already have. My need, every need that I have is fulfilled. Every desire that I have is fulfilled. If I do not have it now, when I need it, I will have it, right? I always have more than enough money to spare and to share. Listen, y'all, I started saying that at least 2 years ago, and I'm telling y'all that has manifested times 10, times 1,000 for me, and I didn't have to do a whole lot. What did the lady say? Sometimes when you have this mental image that is so strong, you don't even have to do a lot of work behind it to make it come to fruition, right? Because you've already set that intention. You've already placed that order with God and say, hey, God, this is what I want. And I'm going to stand on that thing. I'm going to believe in it. I'm going to speak it. I'm going to live it. I'm going to breathe it. I'm going to show up every day, even if I don't have, what I want to have. I'm going to show up with gratitude for the things that I do have, right? We can't focus on what we don't have, because that takes away from what we do have, right? We're focusing on lack instead of the abundance that I do have. So maybe if I only have $10 in the bank, is my refrigerator stocked, right? Can I go in the refrigerator and get me something to eat? Even if I can't drive to McDonald's, do I have the ability to feed myself and my family, right? If I don't have, the ability, if I don't have, if I'm making tacos and maybe I'm missing the sour cream, that $10 is enough to get me some sour cream and have something left over, right? I always have more than enough. So when we begin to see our life different, when we begin to understand that we are abundant, that we always have everything that we need, and anything that we don't have at the moment, when we need it, we will have it, right? When we can think that way, when we can believe that way, when we can have that level of faith, that is how we shift, change, and transform our lives. And I am telling y'all, telling y'all, I have paid thousands of dollars for manifestation teachers. I have spent thousands of hours with teachers, courses, all of this stuff, so that I can help to teach and cultivate my community, right? But I've spent this time, energy, effort, and money to learn these things so that I can teach y'all. But I'm telling y'all, in everything that I have learned, our words are the most powerful thing that we have. Our words. It don't cost $1 for you to open your mouth and speak something different. It doesn't cost 1 red cent for you to change the language that you speak to yourself, that you speak about yourself, that you speak over your home, over your finances, over every aspect of your life. Y'all, listen, I tell you no lies, okay? So anyway, y'all, we did good today on time. We ain't even been on here a whole hour, y'all. I know this was a good session. Listen, y'all, tomorrow we are going to be back right here, 2:15 Eastern Standard Time. If this live stream right here blessed you, go ahead and make sure you are here tomorrow, 2:15 Eastern Standard Time, because what are we talking about tomorrow? I'm going to give y'all the sections for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about, image. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, when I say image, she's using the word image. Our word today would be visualization or visualize. Image success in family problems, right? So this is telling us how to imagine success when we're having family problems. Image success in financial affairs. These are the topics for tomorrow. Image for travel, image beauty and well-being, and image your true desires. And that's going to wrap up chapter 5. We're going to go through those 4, and then that's going to wrap up chapter 5. So tomorrow is Thursday. Friday we'll start into chapter 6, which is the prosperity law of command. And we're talking about your commands through words. Amen. It's talking about Genesis 1. Affirmations are a form of command. Listen, y'all, our words are commands, our words are prophecies, our words are demands that we are placing on the universe to say, this is what I want, this is what I desire, this is what I allow and accept in my life. And when we speak things like, I allow my life to unfold with ease and flow, listen, how good does that sound when you can say, I allow my life to unfold in the most amazing way with ease and flow, and everything I need is already within me, and everything I have is surrounding me, and God is just blessing me abundantly every single day. I get deposits, and every single day I am blessed, and every single day somebody wants to help shift and change and transform my business. They want to pour into my business. They want to pour into my ministry. They want to pour into my nonprofit. Every day I am met with someone who can help further my career, further my whatever it is, right? When we speak differently, we begin to manifest and see differently. I ain't gonna say that no more, y'all. Anyway, y'all, I thank y'all for being here with me. I pray every day that God allows the people that need to hear this message to come onto this live, whether it's one people or whether it's one person or 100 people, y'all. I am thankful for every single person that is in the room. So listen, y'all, I will see y'all here tomorrow at 2:15 Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna continue this thing called visualization. Friday, we're gonna get into the law of prosperity as a command. And then we're gonna be off for the weekend, y'all. We do not do Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back here on Monday. This Monday I was sick, so we didn't I wasn't here on Monday. But if listen, y'all, if you thought this was a good lesson, I'm telling you, there were 17 more before this one. Today is day 18. Days 1 through 12 are available on my YT channel. You can find the link to my channel in my profile. So go there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. If you're not following me, go ahead and follow me. Click the dings and all of that stuff so y'all can get notified when there's new videos out there. I have over 100 videos on my YT channel. Some of them are like YouTube shorts. Some of them are my TikTok videos that I repurposed over there. Y'all, it's some good stuff over there. So go ahead and subscribe, follow, do all the good stuff, and invite somebody in here tomorrow so y'all can get day 19's lesson, because I know that you know somebody that can use these messages, y'all, because we are using something so simple to shift, change, and transform our lives. And listen, if you are looking to speak with me one on one, if you want to go ahead and get a meeting with me scheduled on the calendar so that you can, if you are ready to get a coach to help you shift, change, and transform your life because you are ready to invest in yourself, you are ready to do the work to get you from where you are to where you desire to be, go ahead and click the link in my profile. There is where you can set up a call with me. I think my calendar is up to date. But if it's not, then you can DM me and we can talk about it. Okay, we can get something set up. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for today. I hope y'all have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed rest of y'all day. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.